Hi, Salma from Nordcraft here, and welcome to the Learn Nordcraft video series. In this series, we're going to build some fun websites and web apps together in real time as we explore and learn how to use Nordcraft. To get an overview of the series, you can go to the Learn Nordcraft repository on GitHub, the link is in the description, where you'll find information about each lesson, including a rundown of what you're going to learn, links to the Nordcraft docs, assets you'll need for the lesson, and links to the finished projects in production and in the Nordcraft editor. All the lessons are self-contained and are aimed at exploring more advanced features and concepts as the series progresses. But before we get building, in this video, I'll be giving you an overview of what Nordcraft is, who it's for, and what you can build with Nordcraft. Welcome to Learn Nordcraft, Lesson 0. So first, what is Nordcraft? Nordcraft is an open source web development engine. But what is a web development engine? You can think of Nordcraft like Unreal Engine, which is a game development engine that gives you all the tools you need to build amazing games in a visual interface. And Nordcraft is the same thing, but for building beautiful websites and web applications. So why the comparison? Computer games are inherently visual experiences, and so it makes sense to use a visual user interface to develop games so you can experience the end result as you are building. Yes, text-based coding is still important to game dev, but the end result comes together in a visual environment. The internet in 2025 is also an inherently visual experience. Since the mid-1990s, when we could first use images on the web, style websites with CSS, and make web pages interactive with JavaScript, the internet quickly moved away from the read-only, document-like experience of the early days of the web. And so applying the same logic of building video games to building web apps, it also makes sense to build visual experiences on the web using a platform that combines visual design tools, a lightweight front-end framework built on web standards, and full programming capabilities all in one. And that's Nordcraft. Of course, just as in video game development, there may be times when engineers need to write code using text when building for the web, such as when building a custom backend. Ultimately, everything comes together in Nordcraft to perfect the user experience. And Nordcraft isn't just the visual interface that you use to build websites and web apps. As part of Nordcraft's platform, you get server-side rendering as standard, version control, live branch preview environments, a ridiculously good visual animation editor. You can host and export web components, add custom code if you need to. You get a package system for sharing and reusing functionality, and loads more. Plus, if you're familiar with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you don't need to learn anything new apart from the visual interface. Nordcraft lets you build stuff the way you want to build stuff, giving you full control over everything from the HTML elements you use to the pure CSS it generates. So, who is Nordcraft for? Nordcraft is for web designers who want to deliver great experiences to their users. If you're using Nordcraft in a product team, you get to skip that traditional handover process from design to development. As a web designer using Nordcraft, you are actually building web applications as you design the UI, while the engineers in your team can focus on building out the business logic and the backend. And finally, what can you build with Nordcraft? Any web application or website that you can create with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can build with Nordcraft. Keep in mind that Nordcraft is a front-end framework comparable to React, Vue, or Svelte, and so you'll need to bring your own backend and databases. Now, I could spend the rest of this video listing all of the things you could build with Nordcraft, such as shopping websites, blogs, recipe catalogs, company marketing sites, and data visualization dashboards, but I don't want to limit your imagination. What I will say, though, is that Nordcraft is built in Nordcraft. Now, it's a little mind-bending at first, but this is Nordcraft in Nordcraft. Here's the HTML structure of the application. Here are some reusable components. Here's where the CSS is applied. Here's where the data is fetched via APIs, where events are triggered, where workflows are configured. And the editor canvas is right there in front of you as you build. If a visual framework can be built in the visual framework itself, then you can build anything. The only limit is your imagination. If you've got any questions on your Nordcraft journey, you can join us in the Nordcraft Discord. The link is in the description, and we're a really friendly bunch eager to help you out. And remember, there are no stupid questions, so come and say hi. In Lesson 1, we're going to build and deploy a Linktree-style personal website in Nordcraft. I'll see you there.